Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. You're looking at the Strv 103B. It's a tier 10 Swedish tank destroyer. It's located on the southwest spawn of Outpost, and it's under the command of kosats13 of the F-Off clan. Yes, that's a rather rude way of saying it. Game on! Well, 105mm main gun, capable of doing 390 alpha, 308mm pen with standard APCR, so it's got a very high shell velocity, and the premium APCR will go through 350mm of armor, so very, very powerful, lots of pen, and very accurate as well. This is a tank developed in the 1950s. It was even shown to JFK. And the first tank was using, it was the first tank to use a turbine as well to get about. Now, they only mass produced them with no turret, and this is the first tank with no turret as well that was in operation. In service from 1967 to 1997. It's basically the S tank, and it gets the name NS from Sven Berge, who was the guy who actually came up with the idea in the first place. A tank that was entirely defensive and was designed to help the Swedish army attack and retreat. As you can see, it could actually do a lot of damage to the enemy very quickly and then pull back before the enemy could actually respond. And the idea was, just in case the Soviets came across the border from Finland, or they took Finland first and then they went through the border, then the Swedes would be able to retreat slowly, but punish the enemy as they did and take out all their tanks. Now, I don't know what's actually happened to most of them, but there is one in the tank museum, and there's, well, there's S-tanks in many of the tank museums all around the world. There's certainly one at Aslains, the Swedish tank museum, and that's an operational one. That one you can actually go in, and I do believe that Sophie Line actually did go in once whilst it was moving. Now, it's only got a crew of 3, which is the commander, the driver, and the radio operator as such. And most of the crew have got duplicate jobs to do as well. Basically, this tank aims by moving about its suspension, so it's the driver who's technically aiming the tank in the general direction of the enemy and then adjusting the suspension. So it's entirely dependent upon the suspension being able to move about and point the gun, because the gun's fixed. It only points in one direction, straight forward, according to the hull, and basically you have to move the suspension about if you want to aim the thing. But the other thing about it is the armor. Very thin, 40mm at the front and 30mm at side and rear. Lovely shot there. High roll, 405. He's racked up nearly just under 3,000 hit points. And look, there was only the bustle was showing on that Shure MV7X, but he still managed to hit it, and he got another high roll for 415. And in fact, that guy's now pulled forward, so obviously he knows now that he's not in danger. Oh, made a big mistake, backed in, and got shot again. So, is he going to come out? Yes, he does, and we get one more shot. Can we get a kill shot? I don't know. Yes, he does. He got that as well, so he's now shaved that guy's hit points and put them in his pocket. Okay. The team's doing well so far. They're one up on the enemy. kosats13 is an Arty player, big Arty player, lots of replays. In fact, we've got a few to do for him, which will be done very shortly. But he does like playing other tanks, and who doesn't, you know, just for a bit of variety. And the Strv 103B, well, it's a dangerous tank because, of course, it does have very good camo. And it's one of those tanks which really can be a problem for enemy tanks because it's so accurate, and of course the speed of reload as well, because of course even though it's only got a 105mm gun, it can reload very quickly And in some cases, it can react before the enemy can actually get into cover, so they get more than one shot. Standard reload 6.71 seconds, and you can see here that Kosats has got 5.49, so he has reduced it a bit. The tank was eventually replaced by the Leopard 2, which became known as the Strv 121 and the 122. As I said, I don't know where all of the S-tanks actually ended up, but certainly it was bought by the Swedish army. The gun, by the way, is the L74, which is, of course, the British design gun. Not necessarily British made, but of course it could. That same design was actually being built by quite a few. Oh, big mistake there for the Rhinoceros. Oh, it's a Gonkvia. Gonkabica. And now he's pushed forward. He ran into that wreck, and I think he's still there, and he's just gone down. Oh dear, that did not go well. So now he's out the game, and there are only 3 enemies left. There's only 4 left on their team. The number of hit points is about the same. If he's going to get at the enemy, he's going to have to move forward. As far as we can tell, the nearest enemy is an M48 pattern. Okay. Any sign? No, Sixth Sense hasn't gone off. So it may be the M48 pattern's pulled away. The ridgeline might be a good place to go for those bushes. Okay. Anybody in sight? No. Again, it looks like the enemy is focusing on the north side of the map. The Arty is probably back at the cap area. Now, the Arty in this case is a batch at 155.55. It was the tier 10 game with tier 9 tanks in it. Didn't mention that right from the start, but the batch chat is a tier 9. Single shot. Oh, IS-7 was spotted briefly, but he didn't see us. Mainly down to the camo, but he might spot us before we get to that line, that corner. In fact, there's the batch chat. Okay, he's been spotted. One shot, and he gets it in, but he leaves the guy on only 24 hit points. Now the enemy knows where we are. And the batch chat's trying to get away, but he gets effectively taken out by the TL7. So where is that IS-7? I think he's gone into that gap. We're looking in that general direction, but he could come from either direction. TL7 comes down, so we're going to be able to catch them in the crossfire. We've loaded the premium ammo to get the IS-7, just to get through the armor. Need that extra pen just to get through. So we still don't know where the M48 pattern is, but we have an idea where the IS-7 is. He's around the other side of that rock there, that formation. Okay, we've been spotted, and the M48 sneaked up behind us, and we're turning around as fast as we can, put one into the engine bay, low roll. Now we're trying to use our angled armor to get shots. The IS-7 went up into the castle grounds, and we've driven outside the this corner of the cap area where the IS-7 can't see us. So now we're going to go around this side. Now let's hope the M48's not waiting for us, but the IS-7 is going to have to come out the castle grounds if he wants to get a shot on us. And here he comes. Now go to siege. Takes 2 seconds. Oh, we did get hit, but we're turning, and he does get one round in. Now back up against the wall so he can't get the advantage on us, and he's trying to hold us in position by tracking us. And there's one more shot. He's now one shot. Next round is going to take him out. He did get tracked, and we got the advantage because we can beat him on the reload. But we did take one round from the IS-7, who came out the castle grounds, managed to sneak one in, and I think you can see it came in through the side of the vehicle. So we're now at 6.5k of damage, 4 kills, and the IS-7 is just round that corner. We're going to be going into this corner area here. Now, is he going to go up onto the rise to take the guy out? It's going to take at least 3 shots to take this guy down, but we do have teammates who can help us. Hello, Mr. IS7. That's one. Okay, that grill in the front, of course, to stop heat rounds. Hello, Mr. IS7. And another. You see, it's the fire rate of this thing that really does get the enemy. He doesn't want to come around the corner, but the E75 is going in the other way. So, and the E75's got far more hit points. So now we can move forward. The IS7's got no choice. He has to engage the E75. He's taken 1 hit. And he's now 1 shot for us. So even if he was to kill the... And he didn't. And the E75 wins the game for us. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for kosats13 in the Strv 103B. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly, as well as a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 9, and he got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall. His win rate for the game, 11,716, so he performed well above normal. And, of course, that's Super Unicum standard and quite a bit higher. We look at team score. We can see the highest damage was 7,360. And that's earned him the high caliber. Second highest damage turned out to be the IS-7 on the enemy team, 5,642. And the third highest damage was the T-57 Heavy on our team with 5,293. When it came to kills, yep, Kosats got that too. 4 kills to him. 3 kills went to the Leopard 1 on his team and also to the IS-7 on the enemy team. 2 kills went to the T-57 Heavy, the TL-7 on his team, and on the enemy team, their T-3 Jaeger and the Batchat 155-55 both got 2 kills. When it came to base XP, he's got that one too. So he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,330 base experience points. 1,024 went to the T-57 Heavy. They were the only 2 players who managed to make it over 1,000 base, with the next highest being the Leopard 1 with only 976. He fired 33 rounds in that game, a huge amount of ammunition, but he really didn't get close to emptying his magazine because this thing carries 50 rounds in total. 23 direct hits on the enemy, 21 penetrations. So it was only a couple of shots where he didn't get it right on target, but 7,360 hit points of damage, of which 4,937 were up more than 300 meters. So you can see it's a long-range sniper, but it's a very deadly sniper because, of course, it can reload so quickly and do the damage all over again. 5 hits received from the enemy, 3 of those penetrated, 2 non-penetrations, 780 hit points of damage blocked by armor, 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 8 enemy vehicles damaged, and 4 killed, and 1,163 hit points of spotting assist. On a premium count, he actually suffered a loss from this game, 16,680 credits. I think that's down to the premium ammo, and of course he did use consumables, and 7 bonds because this was tier 10. And 9,975 experience points out of this game because, of course, it was a ×3 and they had a reward for completing a mission. So a really good game there by kosats13 in the Strv 103B, showing the strengths of that tank. It really is a tank that can hold a flank virtually all on its own. And for a lot of that battle, he was the one who was effectively pruning all the enemy tanks that decided to go via the southern route. And whilst our team held the enemy on the north, it meant that eventually the enemy ran out of steam. They tried to take the castle. They got smacked because they did that. But Kosat, sitting in his sniper's nest, was quite happy decimating the enemy, or at least tearing them a new one with his 105mm. Hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.